Yes, good morning, dear students. Today I'll start the chapter that is fundamental unit of life, that is cell. You know that our Earth is having different kind of living organism, and they can be unicellular, multicellular, like they are bacteria, protista, amoeba, fungi. So these all living organism, their body is made up of microscopic unit. They are called cells. Just like if you see in the physical science, atoms are the like smallest unit. Atoms like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, like they are the smallest unit. They are the elements in chemistry. In biology, the the lowest functional unit in our living system is the cell. So we can say the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all living organisms. जो हमारी बॉडी में सबसे छोटी लिविंग और फंक्शनल यूनिट है, स्ट्रक्चरल जिससे हम बने हैं, जैसे घर हमारा अगर घर बना है ईंटों से, तो जो ईंटें हैं, जो ब्रिक्स हैं, दीज आर द लाइक आवर सेल्स. तो हमारी बॉडी चाहे वो यूनिसेलर है, चाहे वो मल्टीसेलर है, ऑल दे आर मेड अप ऑफ सेल्स इफ इट इज लिविंग. You know, the present day, the cells share common fundamental properties. For instance, like cell employ DNA as their genetic material. सेल के अंदर क्या होता है? न्यूक्लियस होता है. न्यूक्लियस के अंदर क्या होता है? देखो सेंटर पोजीशन पे आप देख रहे हो, न्यूक्लियस दिख रहा है आपको. और न्यूक्लियस के अंदर क्या होते हैं? क्रोमोसोम्स होते हैं. और सेल इज सराउंडेड बाय द सेल मेम्ब्रेन. एंड दिस सेल इज animal cell that is you can see on your screen. So the basic mechanism of energy metabolism, जो cells हैं वो functional unit हैं, and there are unicellular organisms like bacteria, amoeba, yeast, and they are capable of doing the self replication. और जो multicellular organisms हैं, like they are having more than they have collection of cells and that function in a coordinated manner where the different cells specialize to perform a particular task. For example, in the human body, it is composed of 200 different kind of cells. Okay, 200 different kind of cells. So cells, they are specialized for a particular task, and each specialized cells, they function like a tissue, and they are doing the function of like memory, like nerve cells, they are doing the function of memory. Blood cells, they are functioning like transport of oxygen, or they are our soldiers. They are also working like muscles, they are for the movement, for digestion. So the diversity exhibited by the many different kind of cell is striking. For example, consider the difference between bacteria and the cells of a human brain. Both are cells, but bacteria is a unicellular, and the human brain cell, the sensory cell, the neurons, it is very complicated. It is highly differentiated, highly specialized cell. So first time the Robert Hooke, he discovered the cell while he was studying a slice of cork. He saw that cork resembled the structure of honeycomb consisting of many little compartments, and cork is a substance which is obtained from the bark of a tree. And this was in the year 1665 when Hooke made this chance discovery. It was a chance discovery. It was nothing that he also know that what he was doing, and he used a self-designed microscope. Robert Hooke called these boxes cell. Actually, these were not cell; they are the cell walls, because they are the dead cells. He saw the first time the cell walls. He saw the dead cells. In the Latin meaning of cell is called little room. So Robert Hooke discovery was important because it indicated for the first time that living organism consists of a number of smaller units or structures. So you can see this is just like the Robert Hooke used a microscope to examine a thin slice of cork, that is dead plant cells, and when he saw, he looked like a small boxes. आपने भी देखा होगा जो मधुमक्खी का छत्ता होता है उसमें कैसे छोटे 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 रूम्स ऐसे होते हैं, ऐसे ही सेल वॉल दिखती हैं. सेल वॉल जो होती हैं, सेल्स जो, क्योंकि सेल्स तो थी नहीं, वो डेड टिश्यू थे. ओके, तो फर्स्ट टू व्यू सेल्स, किसने देखा फर्स्ट टाइम सेल्स को? सबसे पहले फर्स्ट देखा एंटोनी वन लीवनहुक। एंटोनी वन लीवनहुक इन 1674, Antony von Leeuwenhoek in 1974, it is a Dutch microscopist। माइक्रोस्कोपिस्ट वो होते हैं जो माइक्रोस्कोप के साथ मतलब जो स्पेशलाइज होते हैं, द पर्सन हु इज स्पेशलाइज्ड इन द माइक्रोस्कोपी। ही मेड एन इम्प्रूव्ड माइक्रोस्कोप। बाय यूजिंग द माइक्रोस्कोप ही डिस्कवर्ड द फ्री लिविंग सेल इन पॉन्ड वाटर फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम in 1974, and who call them cells because they look like small rooms, and that Mox lives in called cells. He actually first time see the living cells in a pond water first time. He in 1978 he discovered sperm and identified the sperm cells of humans, dogs, rabbits, fish, and insects. However, Hooke had only seen the thickened wall of the cells and not the substances contained within the cell walls. बेटे इन्होंने जो है कि सेल की जो सेल मेम्ब्रेन सॉर्ट ऑफ थिक या फिर सेल वॉल जैसी ही की चीज को इन्होंने देखा 1831 में। स्कॉटिश बोटनिस्ट रॉबर्ट ब्राउन ही डिस्कवर्ड द न्यूक्लियस इन प्लांट सेल। तो in 1673 Leeuwenhoek was first to view organism. Leeuwenhoek used a simple handheld microscope to view the pond water and scraping from his teeth. He first time see these kind of things. So the beginning of cell theory. Before that, you know that I told you that Robert Brown discovered the nucleus in plant cell, and J.E. Purkinje is an animal physiologist in 1839 gave the term protoplasm. I will tell you what is a protoplasm. It is a living fluid substance present inside the cell. सेल मेम्ब्रेन के अंदर जो भी चीज होती है उसको हम बोलते हैं प्रोटोप्लाज्म। And in 1866 Ernest Haeckel established that the nucleus was responsible for the storing and transmission hereditary characters. So by the time in 1838 the Jacob Matthias Schleiden, he was a German botanist. He first time proposed the idea that all plants consist of cell, and a year later in 1839 Schleiden is also the co-founder of the cell theory. Like what cell theory says that all the life, all the plants or animals, they are made up of cells. So Schleiden was a botanist, and Theodor Schwann is a zoologist, is a German. Both are German. One is botanist, another is a zoologist, and they have independently concluded that all plants and animals, because this Theodor Schwann he concluded in the animals, and Schleiden he concluded in the plants, and this joint finding forms the basis of cell theory. Schwann also co-founded the cell theory. So beginning of cell theory, you know, in 1855, a German medical doctor named Rudolf Virchow, he presented the idea that all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. He actually first time used the phrase that omnicellula e cellula. It means that all cells come from the other pre-existing cells by cell division. You cannot create cells. You cannot create life. Okay. All the cells in the nature, they are came from pre-existing cells. So the cell theory comprises the following postulates: that all organisms are composed of cells and cell products, either their secretions. All metabolic reactions take place in cells, and the cells are the structural and functional unit of life. All cells arise from pre-existing cells only. No cell can originate spontaneously, or but they come into being only by division of already existing cells. Every organism starts its life as a single cell. Every every organism starts its life as a single cell, just like us. We start our life from the zygote, and the viruses are the exception of this cell theory. All living things are made of cells. Cells are the basic unit, like structure and function unit of organism, and cells come from the reproduction of existing cells. Cell divide होती the cell division. Okay. Now, discoveries since the cell theory. There are two types of cells, either simple or complex cells, or you can say prokaryotes or eukaryotic cells. You know, the prokaryotes, the cells, they are the first cells. During evolution, these are the first cells, and the size of cell is generally small, like it is in the it's microscopic. Nucleus is absent. They are having the nucleoid because it is not surrounded by the nuclear membrane. It contains a single chromosome. Nucleolus is absent. Membrane bound organelles are absent. Okay, the cells that lack a nucleus or membrane bound organelles, it includes bacteria. They are the simplest type of cell, very primitive, single nucleus, and that single chromosome, and that chromosome is also circular. And you know that these are the cells of the bacteria. You can see here in the picture the nucleate region, that is center, because they don't have the nucleus, true nucleus. It contains the DNA. It is surrounded by cell membrane and cell wall. That cell wall is made up of mainly peptidoglycan and certain ribosomes in their cytoplasm to make proteins. So this is a structure of prokaryotic cells. They they have very primitive and incomplete cells. They are having three structures of a typical cell but lack nuclear membrane, and they are having single chromosome which is in direct contact with the cytoplasm. Undefined nuclear region in cytoplasm is called nucleoid. There is no nuclear membrane, no membrane bound organelles such as mitochondria. Ribosomes are present, but they are of 70s. In eukaryotes, as you can see, like fungi, plants and animals, we all are eukaryotes. We are eukaryotic animals because our cells are eukaryote. They have advanced and complete cells. These cells contain membrane bound nuclei and other cellular organelles that are called eukaryotic cells. Such cells are found in unicellular like prokaryotes, just like protista, and multicellular plants and animals, and they contain the plasma membrane, nucleus, DNA and cytoplasm with ribosomes and cellular organelles such as mitochondria. So cells have a nucleus. In prokaryotes, they don't have the nucleus and they don't have the membrane bound nucleus organelle. Here they are having the membrane bound organelles also. It includes protista, fungi, plants and animals because all they belongs to eukaryotes. And there is a more complex type of cells as compared to prokaryotic one. Eukaryotic cells contain three basic cell structure. Nucleus is there, cell membrane is there, cytoplasm, these organelles are there. It contains more than one chromosome. They are also having nucleolus in the nucleus. Cell division is occur by mitotic or meiotic cell division. In prokaryotes, the cell division is mainly by fission or budding. So, two main type of eukaryotic cells, that is a plant cells, you can see, and that's the animal cell. Both are eukaryotic cells, but one is of plant cell, another is of animal cell. You can see what is the difference that I will explain. Actually, you can see the cell outer boundary is called plasma membrane. The outer boundary of cell is called plasma membrane, and inside it cytoplasm is there, and various cellular organelles are suspended in the cytoplasm. All activities inside the cell and interaction of the cell with its environment is possible due to these features. And out of these organelles, nucleus is visible under light microscope. You can see only the nucleus because it's a very large and a dense thing. Because for other organelles you cannot see under the light microscope. The other organelles can see only under the electron microscope. Okay. So the organelles, they are very small. They perform various functions of a cell. They found in the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm क्या है जो cell के अंदर जो fluid है, that is called cytoplasm. May or may not be membrane bound. वो membrane bound उसमें organelles हो भी सकती हैं और नहीं भी हो सकती हैं. ये स्ट्रक्चर आपको दिख रही है, दिस इज अ प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन और इसे सेल मेम्ब्रेन भी बोलते हैं. Most cellular organelles such as mitochondria, chloroplast, lysosome, peroxisome, Golgi apparatus, nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum are enclosed by this unit membrane. The cell surface membrane or plasma membrane is the outer covering of each cell. It is present in cells of plants, animal and microorganisms. सभी में होती है plasma membrane. तो plasma membrane क्या होती है? It is living. This membrane is living. जो cell wall होती है वो dead होती है. Cell wall is dead. Cell wall is present in the plants and plasma membrane is present in all. जो cell की outer covering है उसे बोलते हैं plasma membrane. It is living, thin, delicate, elastic, selectively permeable membrane. It is about 7 nanometer or 70 angstrom thick. Under a light microscope, this merely appears as a single line. You cannot see this kind of structure. They are just a model, that is fluid mosaic model. However, the development of electron microscope has made it possible to investigate the detailed structure of these biological membranes. But the chemical analysis has shown that membrane is to be having 75% phospholipids, and other than phospholipids, they are having protein, cholesterol, and polysaccharides. And phospholipid is a key element in the structure of plasma membrane. In 1972, the Singer and Nicholson, they suggested a model called fluid mosaic model to explain the ultrastructure of the plasma membrane and any other membrane of the cell. According to them, plasma membrane is made up of a bilayer. You can also see there are the bilayer structure. It's a bilayer structure. That is 2 molecule thick layer and it is made up of phospholipid. Okay. The 2 type of proteins, one is extrinsic, another is intrinsic. There are 2 type of proteins. They are also there. Intrinsic proteins which completely covers the lipid bilayer, and extrinsic proteins which occur either on the outer surface of the or in the inner surface of the lipid membrane. The fluid mosaic model of the membrane has been described as a number of protein icebergs floating in a sea of lipids. It looks like this. That's why we call it a fluid mosaic model, because these proteins are not fixed. They are not having a physical structure. They are just moving inside the. They are just like a number of protein icebergs floating in a sea of lipids. This model is most accepted one and it describes both properties and organization of the membrane. Okay, so the function of this plasma membrane, it permits the entry and exit of some materials of the in the cells. That's why the plasma membrane is called selective permeable membrane. Uh, Studies of on the function of plasma membrane shows that it performs certain physical activities such as diffusion and osmosis for the intake of some substances, and certain biological or physiological activities such as active transport and endocytosis are also performed by the plasma membrane. So what is the meaning of diffusion? Diffusion means when some substances like CO2, oxygen, water, they can move across the plasma membrane through a process called diffusion. These substances are of very small size, so they diffuse readily through the phospholipid layer of the cell plasma membrane. जैसे आपने देखा होगा कि आप अगर पानी में जैसे कोई भी रात को आप चने भिगोते हो, राजमा भिगोते हो मम्मी आपकी, और सुबह वो फूल जाते हैं, तो इट इज जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द डिफ्यूजन. ओके, osmosis is a one type of diffusion. I will explain later on. So these organelles, they are small. It is composed of double layer of phospholipid and protein. I already explained you. It surrounds all outside of all cells. It controls what enters or leaves the cell. That's why it is selective permeable. Okay, and it is living layer. The most important is that it is living. Okay, cell wall is dead, but cell membrane or plasma membrane is living. Now what is this phospholipid? As you can see here, that head contains the glycerol and the phosphate are hydrophilic. One is hydrophilic, those who are water loving. Hydrophobics are those who don't love water. तो आप देख रहे हो यहाँ पे फैटी एसिड टेल्स हैं, और जो हेड है इट इज ए हाइड्रोफिलिक. तो जो मेम्ब्रेन होती है उसमें वाटर की तरफ होता है, हाइड्रोफिलिक पार्ट वाटर की साइड होता है, और जो हाइड्रोफोबिक होता है वो वाटर से. टेल्स आर मेड अप ऑफ फैटी एसिड, दे आर हाइड्रोफोबिक, दे रेपेल वाटर. मेक अप ए बाइलेयर वेयर टेल्स पॉइंट टू इनवर्ट्स एंड टुवर्ड्स ईच अदर. ये देख रहे हो स्ट्रक्चर, जो आपने देखो ये वाली स्ट्रक्चर, ये देखो इसमें जो टेल है वो वाटर की तरफ नहीं है, और जो हेड है वो वाटर की तरफ है. बिकॉज हेड जो है वो फॉस्फोलिपिड, उसमें जो हेड है वो हाइड्रोफिलिक है, और टेल है जो है वो हाइड्रोफोबिक है. क्योंकि जो हेड है वो बना किससे, ग्लिसरॉल से, और जो टेल है वो हाइड्रो फैटी एसिड से बनी है. तो कैन मूव लेटरली एंड अलाउ स्मॉल मॉलिक्यूल्स टू एंटर. The cell membrane is fluid. It is not a like thick or something kind of physical thing. You can see the movement. It is not static. So molecules in the cell membranes are constantly moving and changing. That's why the model name is fluid mosaic model. You can see the how they are moving in every cell. The cell membrane is fluid. You can see the hydrophilic region and hydrophobic region of the protein. जो टेल्स है वो हाइड्रोफोबिक है, जो हेड है वो हाइड्रोफिलिक है, और ये फॉस्फोलिपिड बाइलेयर है, और जो इस पे मार्क किया हुआ जो वायलेट कलर से है जो बड़े बड़े वो क्या है, प्रोटीन्स हैं. तो सेल मेम्ब्रेन प्रोटीन से आपको दिख रहे हैं, कुछ रेड कलर के हैं, कुछ ब्लैक कलर के हैं. जो रेड वाले हैं, proteins help move large molecules or aid in cell recognition, like cells receptor भी होते हैं. Peripheral proteins are attached to the surface. जो रेड वाले हैं वो कौन से हैं, पेरिफेरल, because they are attached to the surface whether it's inner or outer. लेकिन जो इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन्स हैं, इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन्स का मतलब दे आर एम्बेडेड कंप्लीटली और पार्शली इन द मेम्ब्रेन. जो ब्लैक कलर के शो कर रहे हैं, दीज आर इंटीग्रल प्रोटीन्स, एंड जो रेड कलर के हैं दे आर पेरिफेरल प्रोटीन्स. ओके, तो दिस इज सेल मेम्ब्रेन। सेल मेम्ब्रेन सभी में होती है, वेदर इज अ प्लांट, फंगस, एनिमल्स। इट लाइज इमीडिएटली अगेंस्ट द सेल वॉल इन प्लांट सेल। सेल वॉल के अंदर सबसे बाहर होगी सेल वॉल प्लांट में, और सेल वॉल के अंदर क्या हुई? सेल मेम्ब्रेन। सेल मेम्ब्रेन को प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन भी कहते हैं। पुश इट आउट अगेंस्ट द सेल वॉल टू मेंटेन सेल शेप। तो सेल वॉल का फंक्शन क्या है? इट पुश आउट against the cell wall to maintain the cell shape. Cell wall is found outside the cell membrane, and cell wall जो होती है ज्यादातर बैक्टीरिया में, फंगस में और प्लांट्स में होती है। एनिमल्स में सेल वॉल नहीं होती। एनिमल्स डोंट हैव cell wall. It is a rigid cell wall. It lies outside the plasma membrane. Cell wall is non-living, freely permeable, and secreted by the cell itself for the protection of its plasma membrane and cytoplasm. It determines the shape of a plant cell and prevent desiccation of cells. It is made up of fibrous polysaccharide, that is carbohydrate called cellulose. And the function of cell wall, it permits the cell wall to become turgid. It provides mechanical strength to support the cell. It is freely permeable to water and substances in solution. It has a narrow pores called pits through which fine strands of cytoplasm called plasmodesmata are able to pass. These intercellular connections allow exchange of material between the living cell, and these are the functions. It is non-living layer, supports and protects cells, found in plants, fungi and bacteria, not in animals. You can see the cytoplasm. जो बीच में पिंकिश कलर का और लाइट सा कलर का है वो सारा क्या है? साइटोप्लाज्म है। इट्स ए जेली लाइक सब्सटेंस एनक्लोज बाय सेल मेम्ब्रेन, प्रोवाइड्स ए मीडियम फॉर केमिकल रिएक्शन टू टेक प्लेस। क्योंकि सेल के अंदर क्या होती है? केमिकल बायोकेमिकल रिएक्शन होती रहती हैं। इट कंटेन्स ऑर्गेनेल्स to carry out specific jobs. जैसे हमारे अंदर ऑर्गन्स होते हैं, ऐसी सेल के अंदर क्या होती है? ऑर्गेनेल्स होती हैं, दे कैरी आउट स्पेसिफिक जॉब्स। तो सबसे पहले अगर हम बात कर रहे हैं न्यूक्लियस की, जो न्यूक्लियस है, इट इज लार्ज सेंट्रली लोकेटेड spherical cellular component. It is bounded by two nuclear membranes and both form a nuclear envelope. और दोनों न्यूक्लियर एनवेलप के बीच में एक स्पेस होता है जिसे बोलते हैं रेटिकुलम। देखो न्यूक्लियस का फंक्शन क्या है? इट कंट्रोल्स द नॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज ऑफ द सेल। न्यूक्लियस में क्रोमोसोम्स होते हैं, क्रोमोसोम बने होते हैं डीएनए। इट बाउंडेड बाय ए न्यूक्लियर एनवेलप जिसे मेम्ब्रेन विद पोर्स। इसमें पोर्स भी होते हैं क्योंकि यहाँ पे डीएनए रेप्लिक, तो यहाँ जब एमआरएनए, तो न्यूक्लियर पोर्स भी होते हैं। जो न्यूक्लियर एनवेलप maybe one or more, and it is act as a site of ribosome formation. न्यूक्लियस का फंक्शन क्या है? It acts as a site of ribosome formation. Nucleolus is also known as factory of ribosomes, and ribosomes का फंक्शन क्या है? They are helpful in protein synthesis in the cytoplasm.